Air Med Flight N823AM, which is an air ambulance, and I must stress, it's an air ambulance designed specifically to carry patients, landed at Conca International Airport in Accra.
So we're a medical flight. You're the vice president.
It rather, on this occasion, carried suspicious cargo suspected to be cocaine and cash.
I wish I'm part of the people and persons who will sit and also question the honorable member of parliament, even though it is not my responsibility, but it affects my country as well.
President John Dramani Mahama, the near pa say allegations be a minority for a raise MPP for a raise say plane menubi abesi Ghana ya Kotoka International Airport. Almost suspected say a disika ele numone and aba be Ghana hanum na omasa etuko neno and nipa be react Okatakyie FIFA HSS a plane ya ebesi Kotoka e vice president yare or yare and omode betam no koye. Sa enso so and Farouk Wahab ebusa questions bebre a watch say or no anko bebusa MP ni questions ebusa airport no questions bia and also yebekwa akoti first poster me hu ye sell the bomb our Instagram our Snapchat na sell the bomb yi secret ya no release na etesipa na ba ko a release ya ama honorable MP Reverend Intim Fojo any minority be press conference a raise concern ama John Dramani Mahama, the president, Neniabre, a poster, sell the bomb be posted on the 27th of March this year, 2025. With these pictures, Kotoka and 2 airplanes, or say, awkward movement of certain flights at Kotoka raises concern. Can someone explain why an air med flight, a medical flight, a ambulance, N823AM landed at Kotoka International Airport in Ghana from Gran Canaria, Spain, on 20th March 2025, then remained in the country for 5 days before departing at 1 a.m. on 25th March 2025 back to Gran Canaria. Bear in mind, this is an air ambulance specifically designed to transport patients. Also, note that it landed in Gran Canaria, an island in Spain infamously known as a convenient hub for transporting Colombian powder across globe and hotspot for washing sika. So the question remains, which patients did this air ambulance carry from Ghana and to which hospital in Gran Canaria? I guess Okujeto Ablakwa is busy sorting out his rent at Airport Hills. So I am stepping in to monitor Ghana air traffic on his behalf. And on another note, a Farouk Air private jet, Antonov AN-12B, landed in Ghana on 12 March and also took off on the same 25th March 2025 at 6:40 a.m. to the same Gran Canaria. So did someone move something there or what? The relevant authorities must answer these questions if they want us to believe they have Ghana at heart. Enti wey na sell the bomb no ebe postu ye eja obe postu na de obi anim se eja ono de oya obe postu a eto de bia manfo rely on to de bi so manfo forget it. But ni nanu na 1st February and a minority led by Honorable Reverend Intim Fojo MP for Asin South ebe raise concern about this flight omo che se ebe see eye Kotoka International Airport omo suspect say e di nubone any sika na buy
on the matter of air med flights and Farouk Air private jets transporting suspected cocaine and cash. Ladies and gentlemen, on another security matter related to our airspace, the Minority Caucus calls on national security to, as a matter of urgency, make public the content of cargo suspected to be cocaine and cash transported into the country by 2 suspicious flights, namely Air Med flights N823AM and Farouk Air private jets Antonov AN-12B, which landed on the tarmac of Kotoka International Airport in March 2025 from Gran Canaria, an island of Spain, and departed to the same Gran Canaria days after their arrival. Reliable intelligence intercepted by the Minority Caucus indicates that on March 20th, 2025, Air Med flights N823 AM, which is an air ambulance, and I must stress, it's an air ambulance designed specifically to carry patients, landed at Conca International Airport in Accra, Ghana, and remained in the country for 5 days before departing 1 a.m. on March 25th, 2025, back to Grand Canaria. Our intelligence further posits that no patient was transported by the said Air Med flight, neither to nor from Accra. There is no evidence of medical referral of or patients accompanying or on board the flights on either legs of the flight. We are reliably informed that contrary to the expectation that the Air Med flight would carry patients, the purpose for which it was designed and operates, it rather on this occasion carried suspicious cargo suspected to be cocaine and cash in various United States dollars denominations. In a related development, a private jet, Farouk Air Antonov An-12B, also landed at Conca International Airport on March 12, 2025, from the same island of Spain, Gran Canaria, and remained in the country for 13 days and departed at 6:40 hours, that is 6:40 a.m. on March 25, 2025 to Gran Canaria. The very day Air Med flight also departed to Gran Canaria. While it is intriguing that the two suspicious flights would depart to the same location on the same day, even more intriguing is the cargo suspiciously transported by these aircrafts to and from Gran Canaria, an island known for its notoriety in drug trafficking, money laundering, among others. We call on national security to make full disclosure of the content of the cargo carried by these two aircraft into the country, as well as the cargo carried out of the country by the same aircrafts to Gran Canaria, consistent with the principle of transparency in our collective quest to fighting drug trafficking and money laundering.
The President John Dramani Mahama was no debut. My attention has been drawn to allegations made at a press conference by Honorable Member of Parliament Reverend John Intimfojo regarding two suspicious flights arriving at the Conca International Airport suspected to be involving in drug trafficking and money laundering. Government takes all allegations seriously, and to ensure a thorough and transparent investigation, I have directed all relevant investigative agencies, including the Narcotic Control Commission, NACOC, the Police CID, the National Investigation Bureau, NIB, and the National Security Coordinator, to immediately and fully collaborate with the Honorable Member of Parliament so he provide all necessary information to investigate the allegation and take all action necessary to expose any drug dealing. We will maintain zero tolerance for using Ghana as a transit or final destination for drugs or drug trafficking. The NIB made a high-profile bust of drugs last week with a street value of $350 million. Let's build Ghana together. Hashtag. And President John Dramani Mahama the betu dwase na nyabreba se saa asem na omo kan de say MP no eboa na omo ye nhwehwemu na Okatakyie fifa so kire se vice president yaye oyare no akoye se stroke ni ade na se de sikoye ye no eno ena omo erashi ye edisa emedia ye kan hwase mu ebesi airport yi ede no ekoye
say ya me ani amre a omo de maami omo be bon shoulder pad bi gina wa kunu se dom ko Professor Mills and Professor Mills yare omo timi ne koba an wonyare na hwenya no Professor Mills tumrika on the tarmac e wa bra proper inse mu nyina yetum papa mi ne mu nyina ya sama mene ye nyina ehu sa no omo de ye maami so insider report kire se maami ne di kan yare ekoye no sa stroke bi tienio an omo Rashid ne ko UGMC University of Ghana Medical Center no omo ko ye no omo frefre a doctor for including a Dr. Serebo mu nyina efri even kolebuso omo mra behwe no onim do omo ye maame ne ho nto no an omo bo on shoulder pad said omo dey Professor Mills no so one nkramofo ma no MS ne kwatu behwe anansan wo be se ne nkramofo ma akoyi ayi bi ni ade mebo a wodi akire kwatwa mebo a sata no yare eso ma ne ho to no o ma ne ho anto no said omo dey Professor Mills eti maame ne ko ba ye no And a second, what's the stroke who's been your work? Ayana and Shedda Monk, they come out warning. And I fed yet. Second one, the buy. It became serious. So in any jurisdiction, Samami, a musion quite chile. Bibi Yanwa, a doctor for a more sanction release Wabrana Munisam Hontono. Negligence of medical doctors. As yet,
Precisely so. More fire.
What did I say? Nobody's wishing some vice president or so. Bibi Yano. Na dia kwa ya wanwana say then a vice president yare kovi na kude omanya press release da Kencha situi okonya prostate cancer the one you to dwa if says oba be leader of the people you are accountable to the people. The people must know precisely Prince Kencha yes or prostate cancer mami din to be an ambusa say oh e dey ntino mu ye din na dem dey ntino mu kan wasem abranche bi de ayi plane bi beto ayi social media say page no friend sell the bomb also and what shall say question say no mode eye private jet abesi tarmac ne so senkoku jeto ablakwa ewo eye yi a kabarista nka afa no no akofa eyi dia ba make say senkoku jeto ablakwa wona aye foreign affairs minister edunim omode could left him amene no yes okay say manfo na hudia we must release the entire year left him amene so sell the bomb the kind of picture we and the two no say can someone explain why air med flight so where a medical flight you the farm ameno you the farm vice president and the koi no man can once a man release it na me go bisa the entia want me release in a sec in 2016 NDC for share Steve Mallory of African Watch African Watch publication on the African Watch the betuo and Akufo-Addo no acute cancer or acute this omubua and this for no share a year Steve Mallory man trust idea so fire anyway Mobekai sadio the MPP campaign in jeopardy Akufo-Addo has cancer na Steve Mallory nyanchire mu nwie ade a che ya na babies with sharp teeth number 1 Felisofosu kwache okotina TV3 yenkonko tie Felisofosu kwache nsim hu no kan yenkonko tie obi yenti
Patriotic President Akufo-Addo is suffering from 3 serious ailments: prostate cancer, what they call acute kidney injury, and a blockage in his coronary artery. That's the flag bearer of the new Patriotic President Akufo-Addo is suffering from 3 serious ailments: prostate cancer, what they call acute kidney injury, and a blockage in his coronary artery. That's the flag bearer of the
anyway Felisofosu kwache dientia ne wontimi mfa maame no o release president bi on between social media wo moko social media wo onkowe say we da ho wantimi amfa nto because of some funu say no mo ye nam say maame ne vice president say himfa ne ye fakora nya ade ayaresama no ankanya issue ne me bebusa say nanu asem no ade ne siye.
So Farouk, our Wahab, our senior advisor, also global certified and experienced diplomatic and investment consultant, also expert in international relations, Africa and world politics and governance. So nimdiye pa wakasa our chese questions bebre nkobe busa MP, no busa airport floor, no busa immigration officers, no more aka yenti our Wahab.
It's not only Ghana. I think any country that has that kind of a flag or a banner on your neck that is a transit point of drugs, of course, it sends a very bad signal. But the question here is that, I mean, some of us, just like you and I, we've been reading what maybe is on the news thing, and then also what the minority or a member of parliament. Let's look at the gravity of the issue when a member of parliament raises certain issues about his country. For sure, if it is not for only political goal-scoring stick or trying to make the government look bad, and indeed, these things have happened. I think I've read somewhere that the president has instructed or asked the honorable member to collaborate with the security company or the security community.
Yes.
To find out or to unravel the truth leading to this. This is how it works. With international aviation, it is not like just even ordinary common car that can just drive across the border of Togo and cross from Togo to Benin and drive on if you have maybe permit to cross. The aviation has it that if it is a jet that is coming into our country here, there are protocols that it follows. The protocols permission from first and foremost the national security. The protocols permission vis-a-vis from the Ghana Air Force. The protocol that also follows up with the Ghana Advocate and Control Tower, the Ghana Civil Aviation, and to some extent, sometimes even, of course, the Ministry of Transport should be notified, and as well as sometimes Ministry of Interior, if it goes to that extent, on and on. Ideally, it is very normal practice that maybe a flight may land emergency in Ghana. But then the allegations raised herein is that the jet is an ambulance jet. It came in not bringing anybody, it left out not taking anybody out. And the second jet had also landed, spent some days, and the two jets left from Accra to Gran Canaria. Why do you not know where Gran Canaria, for the public to know, is the Las Palmas, former Las Palmas, the south of Spain. Of course, it is true that it's the destination. Everybody knows what goes on in Gran Canaria. But let us also find out that if a private jet lands on the tarmac, straight away, in most cases, it has to go to the Air Force Base for it to be scanned, for whichever reason, if even it's an emergency. If it is a passenger private jet, there are also protocols that have been followed before then. So when the jet lands, taxi, and park, the customs are the first, the national security, and then in the case of Ghana or most countries, the NACO. These three agents with civil aviation security, there are four partners that climb or that goes on board to examine before even the passengers are out. That has been the normal practice. The undercarriage is also open for dogs, sniffer dogs, to scan before they allow them in. So here is the case. Honorable Minister did not validate the story to say that, okay, the flight that arrived went to the Air Force Base for it to be scanned. If it was, the pilot, certainly there are two private jets, a third person who will be the air hostess or the stewardess, flight stewardess. So the two pilots and then one stewardess. But if there are our other passengers, then of course, so we are asking, could the minister throw light as to where did the pilots go? Which hotel?
The member of parliament. The member of parliament. Yeah.
Member of parliament, sorry. Would he be able to tell the country? Because when you land, some of us, we've gone on private jet several times. So the normal standard international protocols, you first seek the permissions, the national security, aviation, traffic control, a tower, all these things have to be followed up. Some countries, they bring in national homeland security, like in the case of America, for instance. So if these pilots come out, machine being scanned, the pilots must even identify the hotel where they will keep. And for the public also to know that if it is a private jet that is landed and it is on highway or whoever brought it, it's at our airport. What is the standard requirement is that the pilot cannot be outside more than even 2 to 3 kilometers outside the airport. So in most cases, they should either have kept either Holiday Inn Hotel, Lancaster, or any apartment around their site, or worst case scenario, let's say also Marriott. What does it mean? Or Ibis Hotel. What does it mean? What it means is that the national security and the state security apparatus or the operators must be in the known of where these pilots or the people who brought the jet. If it is not a home base and home bound jet that the owner is living in domiciled in Ghana. So if the pilots there's an emergency at the airport. That is why the international requirement, such pilots cannot, or those pilots cannot leave outside the airport entry a kilometer or 2 kilometers away for purpose of international security and purpose of international emergency. So therefore, all these things, if our security agents do really understand the aviation investigation and for that matter, security matters related to when a member of parliament has made such a wild allegation, let it be truth, let it not be. It is very easy. It is very easy. If even the jet goes under the radar, and of course, I mean, I'm going a little bit with, there are instances where jets fly into certain countries, and Ghana is not in isolation, that they can go under the radar. But if even the jet should go under the radar, the Air Force must be aware. Is the honorable parliamentarian MP telling us that he got this information from the Air Force. Either than that, it casts also doubt and then also a dent on the faith of the Air Force. That primarily, more or less, they co-share that airport, and for that matter, they are the owners of the Ghana Airfield. Have we also contacted them? What is the Air Force saying? So you know it. We haven't heard anything, any statement being put out there by the Ghana Air Force, which should be the basis of the investigation. The Air Force must come to say that, okay, what the person is talking about, we've never seen any aircraft. Because politicians sometimes can make wild allegations. Let us not forget. On the flip side, about 6 months into the election, you remember then NDC also in the position, certain arguments were also raised, allegations were raised that there had been a flight that had left Colombia or Suriname or Guadalupe, anywhere in the Caribbean, that came to Ghana, and nobody knows how those jets vanished. And then, of course, some of us have also heard that a jet was also abandoned at the airport. But this is the case. If a jet is reported missing in Curacao, found its way in Accra, whatever they got, then again, what is the Air Force? What do they know about that aircraft? How did the pilots left and abandon that flight? Those pilots, certainly, the information has gone into our data that they've flown the jet into our airspace. What does it mean? If even they abandon the aircraft, they wouldn't have been able to leave the soil of Ghana through the immigration, unless maybe nicodomously, for whichever reason, they went overland to Lome. But as far as Ghana is concerned, you can't drop a flight, leave the flight, and they are able to check in on a commercial flight and leave. What does it mean? If they brought a boot called wax, called monies, cash, and then it has been emptied, what does it mean? It means that the volumes and the value of the money, those aircraft, it doesn't cost more than even $3 million. So if they are bringing $2 million and throw the machine on it, and then in return for having dropped maybe $1 billion, either in the form of drugs or in the form of cash, to hell with the press, they don't care. So analytically, I'm looking at, there is a certain kind of cloud and confusion over this issue as to the Air Force side of the story, one. As to the tower, the control tower, Ghana Civil Aviation, two, national security side of the story, because they are the originators and the first contact, the first point of call for the permits. Have we also heard anything from the national security? What about the NACOC and what about the GRA, Custom Preventive Unit of the airport? So, my brother, we are only sometimes playing with things just only for people to hear us speaking at Parliament, talking English, or the other side, the government also defending, speaking and talking English. It doesn't work out like that. This affects you.
Wahab, you've given me a very clear, understanding about how things work, at the airport with respect to some of these things. So yes. How on earth does a member of parliament and a ranking as such with all of this kind of briefing or all of this kind of information go public with this kind of information? Because he has to prove it now.
You get the point. I wish I'm part of the people and persons who will sit and also question the honorable member of parliament, even though it is not my responsibility, but it affects my country as well. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Now, the Air Force, National Security, Aviation, Customs and Preventive Unit, and then also the NACOC, all these 5 agents must sit down. Whether or not a flight came, the honorable member of parliament could be right that there was a flight. But because much information was not known, that is why let's say this allegation is being made. Now, if in fact these 2 flights came and the flight was parked there for 10 days, the first point of call, how much did we even get of that jet? It's not a boiler. Our airport is not a boiler airport where you drop your machine. So we must check the day the jet arrived, the jet number. If you find the jet number, we do what is called background check of the jet, whether the number even exists on international airspace or international aviation, whether it is still a number being inoperative or even an aircraft that has the live wire to fly. Look, a jet crossing the Atlantic from Brazil, from Kurdistan, from that side, doesn't need more than 6.5 hours, if even they are flying from Turks and Caicos or Guadalupe or Martinique Française, where we know that they are dragged around that area, or Colombia. It's just only crossing the Senegal bed and make it down to Accra, or cross it direct to Benin and then hit Accra. So we should be able to tell if it came from Gran Canaria, Southern Europe, over Morocco, over Sahel, and then over straight away, and they make it direct down to Ghana. So now, the jet, where are the pilots? The honorable minister should be able to tell us. The MP. Which hotel that the Air Force and that the National Security and that the DNI or our security agencies know that these pilots were registered or the house. If they were there, then of course the next step are those pilots here. Then we bring immigration comes in. Because if even it's a private jet, the pilots they have to use passport. So the passport is not a commercial jet which they use their flying, as we call it, their pilot license or their flying license as air suspect. But even with that, their passports have to be verified. So has immigration recorded in the view of the honorable parliament member, has he found out from immigration if they have a knowledge of any pilot or machine that came and they were in the country and their form that they fill or the clearance permit them to entry says that they were pilots that brought SYZ machines. And when did they leave? Because the intake arrival must have them registered in immigration data. Departure, if even with the same jet, it must be. So we have to find out. Instead of saying that maybe it came from Gran Canaria, it could have been not maybe from Gran Canaria, but it went to Rabat, or it went to Tataouine, or it went to, how do we call it, anywhere in Morocco. How would you know? So there are several questions when it comes to a flight takeoff, a private jet into a country and out of a country. You have 27 strong questions that must clarify the veracity of what really the story is. Do our security who are going to probe and probing as the president has instructed, are they aware? Do they know how to go about it? You don't know the questions. It should not be a politics or politicization kind of a story. It's a serious allegation. The honorable member of parliament must not be seen in the end to say that, oh, it is this a hearsay, I am not to reveal out my information and I can't give out who gave me this information. No. That is not the case. But in moving forward, we must have to acknowledge that lots of things, to some extent, we must be as a country be careful about the in and out flow of jets around our airspace. Some of it, we've heard things like that. But we must be very careful. Else, there could be, and there's instances where jets are allowed or for whichever reason are able to fly under the radar, do whatever they want to do. They will not even land and they will go. Are we so loose? Is our airspace so polarized? Is our airspace so weak? Is the Air Force not updated, or they are not in control? Is the radar control active enough? We have strong security presence at the radar control, and are the people so committed that they are doing the work? And for that matter, not only controlling the drug so-called or the money laundering, but then the security of the country that has a certain precedent, so that nobody can come in the airspace and misbehave and go, because it is not.
Okay.
One thing that we should know, that our radar monitor, our radar control, it is one of the most longest and the fastest in the whole of West African sub-region. Our radar control that we're using, it goes farther than Nigeria, Abuja. It goes farther than the Murtala International Airport one. Even though with Nigeria with all their money, any flight, the moment they takes off out from Lagos Belt, about 10 minutes into the flight, Ghana radar control picks it. Our radar control can pick up to Ouagadougou. Our radar control can pick up, depending on direction, even close to Mali. So that radar control is not the ordinary radar control among the sub-region, not the one in Togo. We see every flight that is running in Togo, in the airspace. Ghana radar control sees everything in Abidjan airspace. So at one point, the aircraft came in here, and then it has become an issue as to which aircraft, when it came in, how it left, and then being an ambulance, it ended up not being ambulance. Yes, that is neither here nor there.
So in
it could have been an ambulance that had an emergency landing. So that is also an option. It could be an ambulance that maybe somebody wanted to buy and they failed to buy. That could be an option. So it is not, in most cases and all times, that a jet will fly to a country and then maybe they brought this or they brought that. There are people going about different transactions. We coordinated a sale of an aircraft before with a Ghanaian pastor. We know how the sale of it and how it takes place. These are some of the things. The machine will be flown down. We have aviation brokers. Maybe it was coordinated by an aviation broker, and the nearby country is Ghana. The buyer is in Nigeria, or the buyer is in Cotonou, or the buyer is in Lomé. They want a neutral land. So in that case, they can fly the machine to Ghana. The buyer comes to inspect the machine, and the machine flies back. It's also a possibility. So which one of them is an honorable member of parliament telling us?
Okay.
And how is the investigation? Me, I'm very curious, because it's one of the fields that we have an in-depth knowledge and we know how to.
Okay.
So
at this point,
questions.
At this point, the minister, the member of parliament, hopefully would avail himself for all of these kind of investigations, because the president has directed for that to be done. So let's await how the investigations will go. And Wahab, I'm sure as and when we need your expertise again, we would get you online so that you can come and give us more education.
President Mahama said, "Some investigation will, may ordinary observer." Oh, don't laugh. I'm serious.
Wow, Mate.
Woman security agents said, it's not all those that they call them the aviation professionals. Or no. Our knowledge in those things is just even overboard. And see, you have to so voluntarily, without a cost on the state. They are a part. Yes, you have questions to me.
Okay.
And if it has to be an investigation of those existing airlines, I also know Gran Canaria, the private jet airport, they have a special airport only for private jets. In Gran Canaria, La Palma, there's a special airport where European millionaires, it's a holiday destination. They fly to that airport, designated by the Spanish government only for this. If it came up from there, we also know how to take up.
Okay.
Because one of the controllers of that particular airport happens to be nobody than an African, a Guinean. He's the one in charge. So let's find out.
Okay. We will find out and try to get as much information about this as possible. That was like a detailed lecture of how things are done in the speech. Like
my chef and party planner. You know we can't get this retirement / birthday shingling go wrong.
Everything is almost ready. But small problem.
Alright, what's up?
We are way over budget, Kweku. Everything is almost twice the estimate.
Adibab, okay? No worries.
So with Tap Send, I have got a cake and decorations covered from here.
You handle the food.
If any extra expenses comes up, just text me or call me.
I'm off today, so I should be easily reachable.
Hey, Chairman, it is for day.
Say, don't be easy, you. Chairman has time and money.
Allah,
Kweku tap, Kweku do, Kweku that.
Chairman can call you.
Hey, Alande, Chairman send
Tap Send. Papa no.